The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hi, I'm Ian Dunbar, Executive Director of the Ames Free Library.
And I'm Megan Tully, Head of Reference and Adult Services.
By now, you may have heard about the budget shortfall Easton is facing in the coming fiscal year. And if you've heard about that, hopefully you've also heard about promoting a sustainable Easton, also known as PACE. The committee working to find solutions to this deficit. If you're curious about the challenges Easton faces moving forward and would like to ask questions, share your thoughts, and be part of creating a sustainable Easton, members of the PACE committee will be holding information sessions at the library on Wednesday, March 5th from 3 to 5 p.m. and Saturday, March 8th from 10 a.m. to noon.
Easton is turning 300 and we're so excited to celebrate. The next session of our special Tricentennial Book Club is meeting at Simpson Spring to discuss The Tiffany Girls by Shelley Noble on Thursday, March 20th at 2 p.m. Space is limited for the special event, so registration is required. Renowned storyteller Rona Leventhal will be at the library on Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. to host It's Your Story, Tell It. In this workshop, we will sow story seeds from our lives and see how we can start to shape them into stories for telling. In pairs and individually, through writing and speaking, we will look at stories, brainstorm memories, share ideas, and start to thread together the pearls that can make up a story. Think you don't have any stories worth telling? You'd be surprised. Registration is required for this workshop.
Once you've worked on your story with Rona, consider joining a storytelling luncheon hosted at the Unity Church on Wednesday, March 19th at 12:30. Gather with friends and neighbors to share a meal and reflect on your favorite Easton stories and memories. Staff from the Ames Free Library will be on hand to record stories for the 300 Years, 300 Stories project. Registration through Unity Church is required. Reserve your spot by calling them at 508-238-6373. Still not convinced you have any stories to share? Let local author Lisa Braxton help. In crafting the 5-minute memoir on Tuesday, March 25th at 6 p.m., she'll help you mine your memory to explore a significant event or incident to produce a first draft mini memoir that can be touching, poignant, hilarious, or simply entertaining. You will learn to identify your story's essence, the truth it reveals, and to engage the reader through fictional techniques. Through writing prompts inspired by short, published texts, you will produce an initial draft that has the potential to impact and resonate for the reader far beyond the page. Registration is required for this workshop.
If you and your little ones have been feeling cooped up with the snow and ice, the stories and songs at our story times are the perfect antidote. Get ready to drift off to dreamland with Pajama Story Time at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 12th and 26th. We have regular weekday story times at 10:30 a.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for toddlers, babies, and preschoolers. Please note that our youth services librarians will be taking a short break from weekly story times the weeks of March 18th and 25th as they prepare for spectacular spring story times. And if a weekday story time doesn't fit in your schedule, be sure to check out our special Saturday story time sessions. These story times are held at 10:30 a.m. and are best for ages 2 to 5, but families with children of all ages are welcome. We have 2 of these sessions happening this month on March 1st and March 29th.
Independent readers who love putting on a show are invited to join Miss Hannah for the Readers Theater on Tuesday, March 4th at 4 p.m. You'll practice your part and put on a skit based on a children's story. And don't worry, you don't need to memorize any lines. Readers who aren't quite comfortable with an audience can practice with Gentle Giants, Callie and Laddie, at Pause to Read on Thursday, March 13th. These Anatolian shepherds just love to be read to. 15-minute reading sessions begin at 4:30 p.m., and you'll need to register in advance for this popular program. Budding artists ages 2 through 5 can practice their skills at Pint-Sized Paint and Sip on Friday, March 14th at 11 a.m. Miss Alicia supplies everything needed for a fun finger painting session, including a complimentary juice box. Registration is required.
Do you know a kid in grades 2 through 6 who loves art and games? Bring them to Quick Draw on Tuesday, March 18th at 4 p.m., where they can combine these passions and play drawing games with Miss Hannah. Did you know we have a book club just for kids? Kids ages 9 through 12 are welcome to join their fellow book dragons and read about the weird and wondrous in the Bookworms Book Club on Monday, March 24th at 4 p.m. After the book discussion, you'll have a chance to craft a bookmark. This month, the club will be discussing Wicked Nix by Lena Coakley. And if your young reader isn't quite ready for a book club, but is always on the hunt for their next great read, they might enjoy The Starting Line. At this program, Miss Alicia will introduce you to a new chapter book series with a short read aloud, and then lead you in creating a themed craft. This program is for kids in grades 1 through 3 and their families, and will meet this month on Wednesday, March 26th at 4 p.m.
Teens interested in getting involved at the library are invited to join our Teen Advisory Board. Get together to share ideas and build community. At this month's meeting on March 6th at 3:15 p.m., we'll be making friendship bracelets while brainstorming what you'd like to see at the library. Teens who enjoy creating their own stories or poetry can stop by the Teen Den on Thursday, March 20th at 3:15 for this month's Teen Writers Group. We provide prompts, pens, and paper. All you need to bring is your magnificent mind. The fourth Tuesday of each month is the day for teen anime fans to unite. Come to the Teen Den to watch anime, hang out with fellow fans, draw, chat, and even eat some Japanese snacks. This month's Teen Anime Night is Tuesday, March 25th at 6 p.m.
Do you like the idea of chatting about books with other avid readers, but not the idea of assigned reading at a book club? Silent Book Club may be for you. Teens are invited to join the teen-only chapter of Easton Silent Book Club at the library on Thursday, March 27th at 5:30 p.m. Come to the Teen Den and get settled in for a silent reading hour. After the quiet reading time, you'll have the option to socialize with other readers. Students looking for help with English and math can make an appointment with our peer tutors on Saturdays. Preksha P., a student at Oliver Ames High School, is available to help students in grades 3 through 8 with their English homework and for reading practice and support. Aditya B., a student from Sharon High School, is available for math tutoring sessions up to and including Algebra 1. Check our website for more details and to register for a session. Whether you're an experienced card reader or you're just getting started with tarot, our monthly Tea and Tarot group has something for everyone. This group for teens and adults will meet on Tuesday, March 4th at 6:30 p.m. for a tea-fueled exploration of tarot cards and intuition.
The Ames Game Cafe is open for players. A host of board games, card games, and video games are set out for our monthly game night in the Info Cafe at Queesit House. Players 12 and up at any experience level are invited to stop by this month's game night on Thursday, March 6th at 6 p.m. Fiber crafting enthusiasts of all experience levels are invited to join our newly reformed knitting group on Thursday, March 20th at 6:30 p.m. This group is best for teens and adults who enjoy knitting, crocheting, and other yarn crafts. Please note that there is no formal instructions available as part of this group.
New members and volunteers are very welcome to attend the monthly meeting of the Friends of the Ames Free Library, held on Monday, March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Join them and meet some really great Easton neighbors. Have you always wanted to research your family tree? Did you have your DNA tested and you want help understanding the results or how to use the DNA results to search your family? Would you like support from others who are also working on their genealogy? If so, join our Family Trees, Genealogy, and DNA group, hosted by local historian Ed Hands. This group meets several times a month on Zoom and once a month in person. This month's Zoom meetings will be on Fridays, March 7th, 14th, and 28th at 11 a.m., and they'll be meeting in person on Saturday, March 22nd at 1 p.m.
Film fans ages 18 and up are invited to ECAT House on the second and fourth Monday of each month for a movie matinee. We show classic favorites, recent releases, and everything in between. We even supply the popcorn. This month's films all feature a local connection. They were filmed right here in Easton. Join us at 1:30 p.m. on Monday, March 10th and Monday, March 24th for these great films. Additional details are available on our website. Adult writers looking for a creative community are welcome to join the Ames Free Library Zoom writing group. The group is open to writers of all genres and experience levels to discuss writing, read what you are working on, as well as give and receive support and feedback. Find this friendly group on Zoom on Monday, March 10th and Monday, March 24th at 3 p.m.
Curious about crafting but not sure where to start? Register for our monthly Design with Dana session and explore a unique craft from the library's Creative Bug database. This month we'll be learning to cross-stitch on Tuesday, March 11th at 6 p.m. The Ames Free Library Book Club will meet on Wednesday, March 12th at 1:30 p.m. to discuss The Frozen River by Ariel Lahan. And in a rare turn of events, we had so many book club members interested in reading and discussing this historical mystery that we'll also be discussing it at this month's Mystery Book Club on Thursday, March 27th at 3 p.m. The Nonfiction Book Club will meet on Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. This month they're discussing Nickel and Dined on Not Getting By in America by Barbara Ehrenreich. And the Fantastical Fiction Book Club will meet on Wednesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. to discuss Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
If you love beading, or if you're interested in a meditative act of creation, head over to the Library Beaders group. They meet this month on Monday, March 17th at 6 p.m. Want to add a little more technical flair to your crafting? Learn about Cricut Design Studio or the Adobe software suite with our ECAT House managers. Sessions are available on alternating Fridays at 2 p.m. for the Cricut Design Studio and 3 p.m. for the Adobe software suite. Registration is required.
Join librarians from the Ames Free Library at Frothingham Hall for a technology talk on Thursday, March 20th at 11 a.m. The session will begin with a brief presentation and include informational handouts and time for questions. This month we'll be talking about how to research and select technology that can help you age in place, including medical alert systems, automatic pill dispensers, and more. These sessions are free and open to all. Immediately following the program, librarians will be available by appointment for a 30-minute one-on-one technology help session. Please note that registration is required for these one-on-one sessions. Call Frothingham Hall at 508-230-0690 to register.
Local author Paul F. Joyce is an assistant professor of criminology and criminal justice at Salve Regina University and a former police officer in Boston. His book, It Started with the Hats, The Life Experiences of Boston's Founding Street Gang Members, recounts his time in Boston and features a uniquely candid look at gang membership, humanized by the perspective of these men who experienced it. Paul Joyce will share these stories and his experience with our audience on Thursday, March 27th at 6 p.m.
Welcome to Page Turners, our segment highlighting recent and upcoming releases. Edgar Award nominee El Cosimano is back this month with Finley Donovan Digs Her Own Grave, the next installment in the popular series about a romance author turned sleuth. Finley Donovan and her nanny and partner in crime, Vero, have not always gotten along with Finley's elderly neighbor, Mrs. Haggerty, the community busybody and president of the neighborhood watch. But when a dead body is discovered in her backyard, Mrs. Haggerty needs their help. At first a suspect, Mrs. Haggerty is cleared by the police, but her house remains an active crime scene. She has nowhere to go, except Finley's house, right across the street. Finley and Vero have no interest in getting involved in another murder case, or sacrificing either of their bedrooms. After all, they've dealt with enough murders over the last 4 months to last a lifetime, and they both would much rather share their beds with someone else. When the focus of the investigation widens to include Finley's ex-husband Stephen, though, Finley and Vero are left with little choice but to get closer to Mrs. Haggerty and uncover her secrets before the police start digging up theirs. But who will solve the mystery first? John Green is an award-winning author, perhaps best known for his beloved best-selling fiction for young adults, like Looking for Alaska and The Fault in Our Stars. He is also a passionate advocate for global healthcare reform, and now he tells a deeply human story in his latest nonfiction release, Everything is Tuberculosis, the history and persistence of our deadliest infection. Tuberculosis has been entwined with humanity for millennia. Once romanticized as a malady of poets, today tuberculosis is seen as a disease of poverty that walks the trails of injustice and inequity we blazed for it. In 2019, author John Green met Henry Ryder, a young tuberculosis patient at Laka Government Hospital in Sierra Leone. John became fast friends with Henry, a boy with spindly legs and a big, goofy smile. In the years since that first visit to Laka, Green has become a vocal advocate for increased access to treatment and wider awareness of the healthcare inequities that allow this curable, preventable infectious disease to also be the deadliest, killing over 1 million people every year. In Everything is Tuberculosis, John tells Henry's story, woven through with the scientific and social histories of how tuberculosis has shaped our world and how our choices will shape the future of tuberculosis. Master storyteller Chris Bojalin's new book, The Jackal's Mistress, is a Civil War love story inspired by a real-life friendship across enemy lines. We begin in Virginia, 1864. Libby Stedman's husband has been away for so long that she can barely conjure his voice in her dreams. While she longs for him in the night, fearing him dead in a Union prison camp, her days are spent running a grist mill with her teenage niece, a hired hand, and his wife, all the grain they can produce, requisitioned by the Confederate Army. It's an uneasy life in the Shenandoah Valley, the territory frequently changing hands, control swinging back and forth like a pendulum between North and South, and Libby awakens every morning expecting to see her land a battlefield. And then she finds a gravely injured Union officer left for dead in a neighbor's house. The bones of his hand and leg are shattered. Captain Jonathan Weybridge of the Vermont Brigade is her enemy, but he's also a human being, and Libby must make a terrible decision. Does she leave him alone to die, or does she risk treason and try to nurse him back to health? And if she succeeds, does she try to secretly bring him across Union lines where she might negotiate a trade for news of her own husband? As we approach the 250th anniversary of one of America's most famous founding events, Kostya Kennedy's The Ride, Paul Revere and the Night That Saved America, brings fresh research to little-known aspects of the story Americans have heard since childhood, but hardly understood. On April 18, 1775, A Boston-based silversmith, engraver, and anti-British political operative named Paul Revere set out on a borrowed horse to fulfill a dangerous but crucial mission: to alert American colonists of advancing British troops, which would seek to crush their nascent revolt. Revere was not the only rider that night, and indeed he had completed at least 18 previous rides across New England and other colonies, disseminating intelligence about British movements. But this ride was like no other, and its consequences in the months and years to come, as the American Revolution morphed from isolated skirmishes to a full-fledged war, became one of our founding legends. In The Ride, Kostya Kennedy presents a dramatic new narrative of the events of April 18th and 19th, 1775, informed by fresh primary and secondary source research into archives, family letters, and diaries, contemporary accounts, and more. Kennedy reveals Revere's ride to be more complex than it is usually portrayed, a loosely coordinated series of rides by numerous men, near disaster, capture by British forces, and finally, success. While Revere was central to the ride and its plotting, Kennedy reveals the other men, and perhaps a woman with information about the movement of British forces, who helped to set in motion the events that would lead to America's independence. If any of these titles sound interesting to you, be sure to put them on hold. You can place a hold right in the Sales mobile app, through the online catalog, or by giving us a call. And if you would like information about even more new titles hitting the shelves at the Ames Free Library, sign up for our monthly fiction and nonfiction newsletters.
These programs and so much more are available when you visit us at the library at 53 Main Street. We're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. You can find us 24/7 at our website at amesfreelibrary.org.